Okay, I just got done with the sword stand video, so now I'm going to talk about this claw shield. And the kind of the preview I gave you of it, we have this furry thing. This was actually exhaustive. We got some of the cartoon concept art. We laid it out. We traced the entire pattern. We made patterns. It's 3-fingered, so your 2 fingers go in this center one like this. And so we got this. Now let me get into why it's furry. I'm going to do the same thing with the sword stand. I'm going to go to my computer and we're going to look at that. But before we get into that, I was going to kind of show you the concept of this. I was going to take this and then stiffen it up with some 1/4-inch leather, so that I could actually, and this would be in the brass version as well. Well, we'll get into. I'm going to do a conglomerate. What I'd like to do. Well, we'll see what you want. If you guys want some, if you want just a fur one, we can do that. If you want a whole metal one, if you want fur with metal on it, that's kind of where I'm leaning. But so either way, this would stiffen up this leather a lot, or this faux lion fur a lot, this leather would, and give us a really nice way of putting an actual sword or dagger in there. And of course, we can contour it so it's centered around there like it's supposed to be. And then along with that, and I'll kind of show you in the pictures as we go here, got some brass sheet here. And I was going to actually make a back for the gauntlet and then do some articulated fingers and some stainless steel claws coming out of the actual thing. So it looks as if you maybe took one of the more primitive Thundercats like Groon, and this is actually his hand wearing a piece of armor, if that makes sense. And then of course those little gems or little cartouche things that go on the knuckles, those can be made onto the top cap for the top knuckle. And then that portion can be highly polished so it's reflective, so it's that mirror shield thing where the bad guy gets scared of his reflection sort of deal. So let me go into the pictures I have to kind of give you the ideas behind why I came up with these concepts, and we'll go from there. Back to the computer, we'll go into the claw shield here. Now, this is the version that's very common in the cartoon. You know, this is one we all know. The thing is, in a cartoon, we don't really know if it's illustrated as furry or not. It kind of has the idea of solid metal, but I've seen him grip things with it, so that means it's got some kind of articulation. So, as I was looking at other art, this one for instance, that is obviously a fur or hair. And it's weird because this one's 3-fingered, but on his right hand he's got 4 fingers like a regular, like a human. But this one's 3-fingered. So there's some weird stuff going on there. And then of course, here again we have this very furry version. That's kind of where I got the concept for the hairy one. Here's one someone did, and these guys are all very talented artists. There's a polished brass one. And that's a possibility too. I mean, I can do an all metal one. We're just going to lose mobility of the fingers in a lot of ways. If we want it to look like that. And once there's a couple artists that have just done an amazing job. This one is very organic looking, and not so much hairy, but more shriveled. But what I like about this version is it's kind of got the idea for the articulated fingers. And then this version here is similar to that. And that actually functions as a shield, but it's a little more on the lines of a hardened hair version. This is what really got me kind of thinking. This is, of course, a regular gauntlet for a 3-fingered or a 4-fingered hand. But the claws I would want to do from the inside so it looked like it was actually a paw. But the articulation, this back here could be solid, but then this could start articulating. And we could get fancy or not. It doesn't, I mean, this in particular reminds me of let me get in on these, these parts here. So it's kind of interesting to try to take a cartoon and bring it into real life. But here he's actually got some more flex in his fingers than he normally would. And then of course there's some stuff going on here. That may be the way that, I think that's actually the belt clip. So that's another place where on the inside of the gauntlet this heavy leather comes in for mounting a belt clip to as part of the sheath. So that's kind of what I got started on the claw shield. Of course, just like the sword stand, leave some comments on it. Get back to me by email or Facebook or something. Tell me what you guys are interested in. And again, in particular, the person that I originally talked to that's interested. This way I don't have to send a bunch of individual emails out. I can just, contact everyone. And this is a useful rendering of kind of how that fits in there. And why this part would be nice to have solid, but then from the wrist down and the fingers have them articulated. And then there's no shame in maybe kind of doing this a little more like a regular piece of armor and then leaving the leather reinforced fur to stick out beyond, just to give an entire encompassing combination. Now that said, a full metal version is optional, articulated or not, and a full leather and fur version with those, with the claw points and the jewels or whatever on the knuckles is possible too. We have tons of options with these things. So again, let me know in the comments. Thank you.